Welcome back to the Demount Show podcast, and we have part two with Sheriff Joe McGill from Nye County Sheriff's Office, and we are going to start talking about a lot of things that everybody's asked about, like the sheriff's cars.
Yes, we have been getting more cars. Our last shipment was 11 white Durangos.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've seen some of them out on the road.
Yep.
The whole reason behind the black and the white was that when we got the black, that was the only thing we had available. And although they are very sharp looking, they're hard to keep clean.
Yes, they are.
Especially in this climate. So we got the opportunity to get some white ones this year, and they're rolling out as we speak. And then hopefully we'll be getting more cars every year as we need them.
Right, yeah, let's talk about that. Like, you think that you need one or two new cars every year because you need to rotate them?
We need a lot more than that. We need about 10 new cars every year.
I'm sorry, 10 new cars.
Some years it might only be 5, some years it might be 20. It all depends. But just like anything else, your vehicles wear out.
Yeah.
And breakdowns happen. And so if it's not cost effective to replace parts, then you have to replace the whole car. Sometimes our cars get wrecked, whether it be accidentally or we have to forcibly stop a vehicle and it causes damage, pit maneuver, things like that. We just had one 2 or 3 weeks ago that at Basin and 160, and a driver ran a red light and took the front end off of our truck.
Oh, nice.
So it happens, just like it does for everybody else.
Yeah.
So sometimes our cars get broken and we just have to replace them.
What's the average mileage on a car? Because Nye County is their largest county?
Yeah, well, it differs from the south to the north. And the type of driving differs from the south to the north. So we can put easily 200 miles on a car in a day, whether it be here or Tonopah.
Right.
But here it's a little bit more stop and go traffic because we have 3 stoplights in this town.
3.
Yes,
we do. Woo!
So it's a little more stop and go. It's a little more acceleration and stop, things like that. When you're talking the units up north, they are basically all highway mileage kind of. So the wear and tear is different. But what we do is we try to rotate our cars from the south to the north and from the north to the south so that we can average the mileage out, extend our fleet a little bit, and hopefully get the most use out of the vehicles as we can.
Very cool. Very cool. What else do you have in your list?
Well, let's see. I was talking the other day, and we have proposed, and hopefully coming up on the June Board of Commission meeting, there's going to be a proposal for us to get a mobile command post. That would be, my plan is that'll be a Class C motorhome, so it would be a motorhome on like a Ford or a Dodge chassis, the type with the bed over the top of the cab type deal. And then we would retrofit the interior to some extent to make it more usable for us and what we need. We need to put a radio in there. We need to put a computer in there. Some seating, but there doesn't need to be a bed, so we take the bed out.
Oh, you might want to have an officer up here and with binoculars.
Yeah, who knows?
That would be cool.
You know, the thing about that is we can use that for any crime scene. We can use it for search and rescue. We can use it for events, Fall Festival. We do currently have an old Class A motorhome that was given to us from Highway Patrol several years ago. but that's difficult because it has air brakes and you have to have a special license to drive it.
Oh.
If we get a Class C, then it would be something that anybody is qualified to drive and would be able to just stop at the office, pick it up, and have all your crime scene processing equipment inside ready to go. So
and they could park it wherever you need it.
you could park it wherever you need it. Use it as a mobile command post. It would have the radios. It would have the computer system in it, and all of our crime scene processing equipment and
cool.
paperwork and all those things.
And that's on June's agenda?
Hopefully that'll be up on the June agenda.
Very nice.
Yep, looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And Axel's got plans for us too.
Axel's got to be on the camera.
Yeah, he's got to have a rubbing. Let's see, we have other things. I took some notes down. We have currently renewed our annual traffic enforcement, which is called Joining Forces. Our traffic enforcement grant, which is through the state to reduce traffic fatalities, which if you've been around here for very long, you know that they happen. 95 is a very, very deadly road in between here and Tonopah. 376 in between Tonopah and Round Mountain. 375 up there. So we get that every year, and what that does is it pays for overtime for officers to go up and do basically saturation patrols. Focus on speeders, distracted driving, cell phone use. Down here, we use it here in Pahrump. We use it for pedestrian safety. And so that helps us out a lot.
Is that part of the grant where you have somebody trying to cross the 160 and see who stops and who doesn't?
That is part of the pedestrian safety grant.
That's good, because 160 is crazy.
It is, and a lot of people, we don't have a lot of pedestrians in this community.
No.
Because we're so spread out. But the pedestrians that we do have, people aren't used to looking for them, and they don't yield to the person crossing the street.
They don't even know the law about it.
A lot of people don't know the law about it. Yeah. We also got our marijuana eradication grant up and going again this year, and we have started using that already. We have been having deputies in the north go out in the hills, far off the beaten path, looking for any illegal marijuana grows. And when that is found, then they tear everything up, cut everything down,
burn it,
haul it out, burn it on site, whatever makes the most sense at the time.
Last time you were here, you said that you had a big bust.
We did have a big marijuana grow outside of Carver's last year. And so that helps to pay for the resources that are needed for that.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Our CCW process, our concealed weapon process, in 2023, it was taking about 120, 100 to 180 days to get a concealed weapon permit.
It's a long time.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Well, we have gotten some new scheduling software, and we have implemented some new plans, and we're down to, on average, about 2 weeks now.
That's awesome.
Which is great. Yeah. It's much, much faster, more streamlined, more convenient. You can sit in your living room on your smartphone, and you can go on our site, and you can make an appointment to come down a week from tomorrow.
Really?
You can submit your application sitting here on your smartphone, things like that. So it really streamlines everything that way.
I like it. That's really good.
Yeah, fantastic.
On the CCW.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of fraud going on with the internet and stuff. People saying that, oh, you can get your CCW online now and stuff like that. Is that true?
No, you cannot.
Yeah.
For all I know, there could be states out there that accept that. I know that in Arizona, you're not required to have a concealed weapon permit. But I can tell you in Nevada, you're required to take a classroom portion,
Right.
and you're required to do a hands-on manipulation shooting portion.
Yep.
And that is the state standard, whichever county you go to.
Right.
So when you go online on Facebook and you see this nationwide concealed weapon permit,
Yeah.
don't waste your money
That's
because it's not legitimate.
Right. And they're just taking your money.
That's right.
You don't get a CCW.
Just one more scam, just like
I keep trying to tell everybody because I've had 4 CCWs, I think. Yeah. And no, can't do it online.
No, you can't.
You have to do exactly what you just said.
Exactly. So, yep.
Very cool.
Let's see. New appointment software for the front office. So anybody needing to schedule to get a work card, you can go on your smartphone in your living room and make an appointment for coming up. You can shorten your wait time. It used to be we would have sometimes a 4-6 hour wait line out our front door of our lobby, and we no longer have that whatsoever. Ever.
Good.
So it's really been beneficial for us.
That should make your staff happy.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Yeah, very cool.
So yeah, what else you got?
Well, I want to know what your plans are.
Okay.
For the sheriff's department.
Well, we always need to increase our manpower. I think that we talked last time that I would like to maybe as much as double our staffing.
Yes.
Our community is growing. Beatty is growing. Tonopah is growing. And we need to keep up with it. Because if we find ourselves behind, now we have to play catch up.
Yeah.
Well, we're already behind. Okay. The national average from the National Institute of Justice for law enforcement, the ratio is 2.5 sworn positions per 1,000 residents. That doesn't include people passing through. Our average right now is 1 per 1,000. We are way behind. We need to increase our staffing, and that's a difficult thing to do. Number one, you have to qualify. There are times when that's difficult for us to find qualified applicants.
Oh yeah.
One of the big
with the backgrounds and stuff.
That's the big thing, and one of the biggest things about the background that disqualifies people is their drug history. When you're in law enforcement, you cannot smoke marijuana.
Right.
Well, there are people that don't stop until they get hired.
Right.
And that's not acceptable.
Right.
There are drugs that disqualify you for 2 years, 5 years, permanently, depending on the drug, depending on the length of use, the number of times of use, things like that. So we have to take all those things into consideration. We have to take into consideration your credit report, because a bad credit report indicates a lack of stability. If you've had several late payments and things like that, late credit cards, we have to really take into consideration, we don't want a person who is financially unstable coming in and being financially unstable under our supervision. So we look at that. We look at criminal history, obviously. Any arrests, any non-arrests, but known or admitted criminal actions, things like that. We do a lie detector. So there are times when people will come in and they'll say, oh no, I haven't been arrested, but the lie detector test says they have. And now we have to delve into that a little more deeply. And chances are that person is going to be disqualified. And the whole reason behind that is we want people with integrity.
Right.
We want people who don't lie, because they have to be trusted to stand up and tell the truth about what transpired in the process of this investigation.
Right.
And if you can't be trusted with the small things, you can't be trusted with the big things.
Right. What about their work history too? They can't be bouncing around.
Work history is always a factor, because we don't want somebody who has gone from one law enforcement agency to another, to another, to another, to another. Why did you leave that one? Well, maybe you just didn't like the city you were living in. Maybe it's that simple.
Right.
But there are times when people will move from one agency to another because of disciplinary actions, things like that. And we go to those previous employers and we say, what was this person like when they were working here? Why did they leave? If you are young and haven't had a job in the past, or a menial job, I guess you might say, we look at whether that's a person who we want to stick our necks out for. There's nothing saying that a young, inexperienced person can't do this job, because they can, and we've proven it. I proved it when I took the job at 22. But life experience is a very, very good thing in our field of work.
I'm sure it's valuable.
It is incredible. In fact, the young people tend to, we try to encourage them to go into detention first, because that's a really good way, number one, to learn some social skills, to learn some command presence, learn how to talk to different types of people, and become comfortable with yourself and confident, and then go out onto the street if you choose to, and it makes for a much more rounded deputy force.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Very true. He's making me forget what I'm going to say. So,
he's got to get in on the conversation.
Axel, my goodness, right? Yeah. The big events that we have here in Pahrump and Tonopah too. The sheriff's office. Everybody's trying to get a hold of you right now. The sheriff's office, they're always out. They're always out, like at the fall festival. They're always out. You guys going to be out at the July 4th?
Yes.
As well?
We'll be out there. Actually, this weekend is Jim Butler Days up in Tonopah. I'll be up there for the weekend.
Okay.
4th of July will be coming up. Fall festival not too long after that. Whatever else might come up in between.
I don't think there's anything after fall festival though.
Yeah, fall festival is pretty much it.
Yeah.
Okay. For the year.
And you're there your staff is there.
Our staff is there. Our deputies are there. Keeping things quiet, keeping things peaceful.
Yeah.
Intervening when necessary. Shaking hands when it's right.
Yeah, that's what it should be.
Just being seen, being visible, being a deterrent. I like going out. I like interacting with the people, because they know that we're approachable when we're out in those settings.
Yes.
And so people will stop and talk, and we can really get some good relationships that way.
Yeah, that's good. It's proactive.
Yeah.
Very proactive. Hunty or Axel. Oh my goodness. And we already talked about, but you are planning on running again.
As far as I know, I am planning on running.
Yeah.
My big decider is whether the people want me to run.
Yeah. And what Tammy has to say about it?
Yeah, she plays a little part of it. Yep. Yeah, she definitely does. The wife, wow, she had no idea what she was getting into.
No, really?
Oh, no. Well, I didn't either.
Right.
But it affects her in different ways.
Oh, yeah, it sure does.
I just got off work at 4:00, and here I am at 5:00 doing this instead of going home.
Right.
So,
right. Well, tell Tammy I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I love the way, I think it's good that Tammy's the way she is as your wife, because she doesn't put up with a whole lot of crap.
No, and she doesn't put up with much crap from me either.
Yes.
She keeps me in line.
And I told her, Tammy, you can come on the show. Oh, you don't want me on the show. I go, I think maybe I do.
This has really brought her out of her shell.
Good.
She was always, and still is, but when need be, she comes to the forefront. She likes to be in the back.
Yeah.
We did that Republican ladies' tea a few weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and she hosted a table. And where was she? She was in the kitchen doing the food the whole time. The whole time.
Very nice.
She likes to be behind the scenes.
Yeah, she strikes me as somebody that likes to be quiet.
Yep.
Because what she's going to say if she's not quiet.
Well, no, that's not really it. She's just uncomfortable.
She's just uncomfortable.
You know, she likes one-on-one. She doesn't like to be.
In the crowd.
She doesn't like to be part of the spotlight.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, that's good that you have a support system.
Yep.
For sure. And is there anything else that you wanted to do other than the June agenda item? Was there other things that were going on?
Well, let's see. Last time I was here, we talked about we had a jail medical contract coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a interim medical provider now, and that is working out really well. We actually got some of the nurses that used to work in the jail back again, which has turned out to be a very good thing because they knew how things ran. They knew the ins and outs, you know, as well as the deputies do. And we are still in the process of looking for a permanent contract, which would be probably anywhere from a 2 to a 5 year contract. The one that we have there
out to bid.
They don't have that. Doesn't have to go to bid technically because it's called a professional services contract. So it goes out to interested parties.
Oh, okay. It's nice to not have that rule.
Yeah, it shortens the process some, makes it better.
Yeah, for sure.
The provider we do have there is bidding for the permanent contract, but so are some others. So we'll see what happens with that.
Okay, that's good to know. That's in the works.
That is in the works, yes.
So my question to you about what we were talking about was, and straighten me out here because there's so many rumors going around.
Okay.
So you guys don't support ICE. Is that true?
We do support ICE. We are a support function for ICE.
Okay. What does that mean?
That means that we will not go out and do their job for them, but we will not prevent them from doing their job.
Okay. That makes it easy.
If they were to call up and say, hey, this particular business we know has a lot of illegal immigrants or undocumented aliens, I think is the politically correct term now.
You don't need to be politically correct on this show.
And we want you to go and check and see if they are really illegals. No, we won't do that. But you're welcome to drive your butt out here to Nye County to do it if you want.
You do your job, we'll do ours.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
We do have part of, there are things that we have to do. For instance, if a person gets booked for a bench warrant, when they go into the jail, if they are questioned, and one of the questions is, where were you born? If the person says Mexico, Namibia, whatever, then we contact ICE, give them the person's information. They check the immigration system. If that person is found to be illegal, then ICE can place a warrant on them. If ICE doesn't do that, the person, when they finish with their local charges, are released.
Okay, got you.
We don't hold them. We don't detain them. We used to house prisoners for ICE. We had a contract with ICE, but as of October of 24, that went because we lost our medical contract at the time, and
Yeah.
it was a snowball effect.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds right. Interesting. And then what about well, you obviously love dogs.
Oh, I love my doggies.
Yeah. And
I have 3 of them at home, and
one here.
and one here. That's right. And they are going to be upset when I go home and they smell him on me.
Yeah. Well, it's funny when you left, I had a whole nother dog fur.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like all over the place. He was so excited.
Yep.
To be with you, huh? Yeah. You love Joe.
He's a sweetheart.
He can be. Yeah. Stop. Yeah. So, any message you want to give to the people?
Oh, let's see. Use caution when driving. There are so many wrecks in this area.
Yes.
Even in town, it happens. Stay off your cell phone.
Yes.
Focus on what's going on. You got to focus on your driving to prevent accidents, because defensive driving is what prevents things from happening.
Yeah. I agree. Stay off your cell phone.
That's mine. Somebody's trying to get a hold of me.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming down and doing
thank you.
part 2.
Absolutely.
That was totally my fault.
No, not a problem.
But again, we'll hopefully have you back when you're campaigning.
All right.
And go from there. We need to make sure everybody knows who they're supposed to be voting for.
That's right.
So,
and maybe next time I'll bring Tammy with me.
Yeah, that would be fun. It's just, well, she likes dogs too, obviously. You have dogs.
Oh, yeah. She loves her dog.
Yeah.
She does.
So, yeah, that would be great. But thanks for joining the conversation.
Absolutely.
And we will see you out in town.
Yes. Thank
you.
you.